believe in anything I say. No, don't go believing me. No, don't listen to me. Don't take any notice. Don't listen to anything that I say. Thank you.
Can I have the attention of the class for 1 second?
Do I need to have a vaccine passport in order to go to the pub?
No.
Will I need to?
No.
I'm fed up with this shit, man. I'ma say it. Ain't nobody gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
So there won't be a vaccine passport?
No, that's not being planned.
At all, ever?
Not
happening. Not happening, zipped and I don't know.
I certainly am not planning to introduce any vaccine passports, and I don't know anyone else in government.
Okay.
This shit don't make no sense. This shit don't make no sense.
I myself have asked numerous parliamentary questions over the past year about vaccine passports, as this is an issue which I know interests many constituents with views both in favour and against.
I can't fake it. This shit's whack. I say this to your face. This ain't behind your back. You corny motherfuckers can't look me in the eye. Cause most of you fake and you're living a lie.
When asked on Sky News that will people need such certification to go to the pub, he said no.
Do I need to have a vaccine passport in order to go to the pub?
No.
Whether this discriminates against individuals is something that the courts are going to have to decide, and I think it's inevitable if we go down the route of bringing in a domestic vaccine passport.
The vaccine passports, the whole idea of it was discriminatory. Clearly, the government is moving on this. Do you now withdraw that claim?
No, actually, quite the opposite. The reason that the Prime Minister has asked Michael Gove to look at this, because it does raise ethical, all sorts of issues for the UK economy.
A pop bubble full of bullshit. You live in a bubble.
And I had a yellow fever vaccination. I got a yellow fever certificate. I think there are minimal concerns over certification if you have a piece of paper.
Instead of hanging on to little pieces of paper or complicated pieces of paper.
What's the matter with you?
You don't need any fancy electronic reader to read a certificate. You just need to be able to speak the language that's on the certificate itself.
It's really just using your phone in a way that we hope will simplify things.
What's the matter with you?
For the government and for the passengers.
Read my lips! Read my lips! Read my lips! You ain't talking about shit!
Now, let me turn to the foreign aspect of this first.
For the government.
Whether other countries.
For the government.
Or indeed travel firms.
For the government.
Require us to have a proof of vaccination.
For the government.
I think that is almost certain.
They just distract you from what's important.
Oh, really? Who in the world will run this database?
Let us help you bring your ideas to life faster and with far less cash burn at Accenture's Cyber Fusion Center in IzRael.
It is also the case that this is inevitable.
What's the matter with you?
Other countries will be opening up their airports to those who are able to enter with certificates.
IzRael.
Airlines will be eager to carry their passengers there.
IzRael.
The public will be keen to travel. Will be keen to travel there.
IzRael.
IzRael has developed a mobile app, Green Pass, to show that a person has received a COVID vaccine.
To have to deal with internationally.
IzRael.
I did say that, obviously we would facilitate
IzRael.
Vaccine certification if other countries,
IzRael,
which looks like what they're about to do or the direction of travel,
IzRael.
And we want to lean into that and shape it.
Remember when I told you about the ultra mind control? Well, I just want to say that I told you so, yeah.
Internationally, so that a vaccine certification is, one, can be authenticated. And of course, there's a protocol globally to allow people to travel much more freely once the world is vaccinated. Once the world is vaccinated.
Remember when I told you about the New World Order?
It can be used to access indoor seating in restaurants and to attend events in stadiums, among other things.
What's the matter with you?
that this will end up in the courts. It's inevitable, the way that society has gone, that it goes down that way.
Do you want to be a free man, or do you want to be a slave?
And I think we should start first with principles. First one is obviously the ethical principle that no one should be subject to any medical procedure without informed consent. That's not just the current law, that dates back into thousands of years of medical ethics.
Do you want to wear these chains until you're lying in the grave?
Or with a passport, however we describe it.
In case you haven't noticed, we're in the lying business.
Are we?
We want them to be happy, okay? So they don't destroy our planet and everything on it. And that is the mission. You're not down with the mission?
I'm down with the mission.
The concept of a vaccine passport is not just some matter of administrative convenience. It is a first step in a major redefinition of the relationship between the citizen and the state.
Remember when I told you about the New World Order?
And I would suggest that it is one we should not take so lightly. When freedoms are given up, then the state rarely rushes to return them. Remember how it was the last time we had identity cards. It was only going to be for the duration of the Second World War, but 7 years after the end of that war, it required a citizen to take the government to court to end it. That is why this matters.
The cops are still twisted, the laws are still fucked, the rich are still greedy, government's still corrupt.
That this will end up in the courts. It's inevitable.
You've been sold a fantasy! You're living in a bubble full of bullshit!
I assume, therefore, that there are no plans to do this. I hope that the Minister will reaffirm this. I've been told by other ministers in the past that there are no plans.
I myself have asked numerous parliamentary questions over the past year about vaccine passports.
You're living in a fucking lie!
No matter how much I may personally believe that it's important and the right thing to take it, it would fundamentally impact on people's basic rights to require that vaccination status to be shown in our daily lives for our very basic rights, and be a huge backward step for our liberty and freedom.
And in the US, President Biden announced an assessment of the feasibility of linking COVID-19 vaccination to international certificates of vaccination or prophylaxis, the ICVPs, and producing electronic versions.